Now I have this piece of pizza here. There is an angle being formed. Since this is an angle which is formed on a straight line, this angle is equal to 180 degrees. Now what if I cut this piece of pizza into 3 slices? 1, 2, 3 slices. Then these angles will be formed. What will be the sum of these 3 angles? It will be 180 degrees. What if I cut this pizza into 4 slices? What will be the sum of these 4 angles? It will still be 180 degrees. So no matter how many pieces you cut this pizza into, the sum of the angles of individual slices will always be 180 degrees. Or we can say that no matter how many angles we make on a straight line, the sum of all the angles will be equal to 180 degrees. So, the sum of measures of all angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So, in this case, there are 4 angles being made on a straight line. So, we can say angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degrees. So the sum of these 4 angles is equal to 180 degrees. Even if you have more number of angles or lesser number of angles, the sum will remain as 180 degrees. So even if you cut this pizza into more number of slices or lesser number of slices, the sum of the angles formed will always be 180 degrees. So the sum of all these angles will be 180 degrees. Now we have these angles here. So let us see what can we say about these angles. We know that sum of measures of all the angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. We can see that this is a straight line. This line, it is a straight line. Sum of all angles on a straight line is 180 degree means that sum of angles on either side of a straight line is 180 degrees. So we consider this side of this line. There are 3 angles being formed, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. So we can say angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees. Now let's look at the other side of this line. On the other side, we have angle 4 and angle 5. These two will also add up to 180 degrees. Note that angle 4 and angle 5 form a linear pair because these 2 angles are adjacent and lie on a straight line. So they form a linear pair, hence their sum will be 180 degrees. Now there is one more straight line. This is also a straight line. So angles on this straight line will also add up to 180 degrees. So we have angle 5, angle 1, angle 2. So we can write angle 5 plus angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. We get this from this line. On the other side, we have angle 4 and angle 3. These form a linear pair because these are adjacent and the non-common arms lie on a straight line. So angle 4 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees. So we have got so many relations among these angles. Using these relations, we can solve many questions. So maybe some angles are given to you and you need to find the other angles. So these relations come in handy when you are asked to solve such problems. Now look at these parts of a pizza. This angle is a right angle, that is a 90-degree angle. These are also similar paths. So these are 90-degree angles. Now, I cut this part into two pieces. So I have an angle here and an angle being formed here. What will be the sum of these two angles? The sum of these two angles will be equal to 90 degree. So the sum of these two angles will be 90 degree. What if I cut this into 3 slices? So let's cut this into 3 slices. Now how many angles are formed? 1, 2, 3 angles are formed. What is the sum of these 3 angles? The sum of these 3 angles is again 90 degrees. And say I cut this 90-degree piece into so many slices. So I cut this into so many slices. The sum of these angles will be 90 degrees. So we see that the sum of measures of all angles is 90 degree. So no matter how many pieces you cut this piece of pizza into, the sum of the angles of individual slices will always be the same. So the angles in a right angle will always measure as 90 degree. Sum of measures of all angles in a right angle is 90 degree. So these two angles add up to 90 degree. These 3 angles add up to 90 degree. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 angles also add up to 90 degree. So sum of all angles in a right angle is equal to 90 degree. And this holds for the entire pizza as well. So you take a pizza, mark a point and cut it into different slices from that point. So we see that there are different angles being formed. These 3 angles are formed. These 3 angles indicate one complete rotation. One complete rotation is equal to 360 degrees. So we can say that the sum of these 3 angles is equal to 360 degrees. Or we can say that sum of measures of all angles at a point is 360 degrees. So we take a point and we draw any number of angles from that point as we want. The sum of measures of all the angles will be 360 degrees. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles here. The sum of these 5 angles will be 360 degrees. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles being formed. And the sum of these 8 angles is 360 degrees. So no matter how many angles we make, the sum of measures of all angles around a point is equal to 360 degrees. So now can you answer this question? Can you find the measure of x? Well, we know that the sum of all angles at a point is equal to 360 degrees. So these are the different angles around a point. All angles are known except for x. So we can write x plus 70 degrees plus 45 degrees plus 120 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. Using this, we can find x. So we have x plus 70 plus 45 is 115. 115 plus 120 is 115 plus 120 is 5, 3, 2. 235 degrees. So x plus 235 degree is 360 degree, or x is equal to 360 minus 235. So we take 360 minus 235. So we have 5, 2, 1. That is x is equal to 125 degrees. So we can say that the value of x is equal to 125. So using this, we can say that all angles around a point is equal to 360 degrees, angles on a straight line measure 180 degrees, and angles in a right angle measure 90 degrees.